Hey guys, what's going on? Tyrauku here, and I hope you're all doing great. So if you haven't been up to date currently with what's going on in Raid, then you won't know about what I'm about to say. But if you've been whatsoever on YouTube today, you're already gonna know about the 10x event. Now, I don't do these videos as soon as they are announced because they're announced at 5:14 in the morning, and at 5:14, I am in my bed fast asleep. So it doesn't work out very well with the time zone. But in case you guys didn't see it yet and want my opinion, I'm gonna go over why this is a terrible 10x event. Okay, so we have Soulless and Trunda, and honestly, we don't even really need to mention anybody else. But I will talk about the other champions. Fodbor and Burengiri, I don't know a ton about. Armina, Tuhawk, Nethril, Fushan. We'll go over all these champions a little bit more later on in case you just want to see the first part of this video. So why is this a terrible 10x event? Huh? Well, let's think about it, okay? Say I already did my budgeting for my kids' food for the month. Well, let's say it was 300 bucks. Now, my 2-year-old doesn't require 300 bucks in food each month, but let's just say he did. Well, that 300 bucks in food, now we got to make some adjustments, okay? We're going to add in some cup of noodles, which are literally 3 for $1. They have his corn, they have his noodles, they sometimes even have pieces of chicken. So he's getting all of his nutrition. Boom. Now that 300 bucks for a month, and honestly, a cup of noodles, I think he can make like 3 meals out of that, right? Like he's pretty small, 2-year-old, other one's 2 months. So as long as I'm feeding the mom, she's nursing. So as long as I'm feeding her, then we got kind of like a 2-for-1 combo meal going on. So we got the food taken care of there. We got the food taken care of for my 2-year-old. Now I got like a $20 monthly food allotment is all I need. Now, jokes aside, I'm honestly, well, maybe not obviously, but I'm honestly not going to be not feeding my kids. So before anybody reports this video, gets it demonetized, or reports me to CPS, they're all well fed, okay? Jokes aside, this event is going to be a very, very wallet heavy hitter event, okay? Now that's why I'm saying it's terrible. So for the past few weeks, maybe even months, there's been a lot of stuff that's like not been so, I guess, good that Plarium's been doing, right? So people have been actually doing like spending strikes. They've stopped spending, gone free to play. And this type of event is something that's going to encourage and possibly even incentivize people to start spending. Now, hopefully you guys have been saving your shards. I know we recently had a 2x Ancient, right? There's gonna be a 2x Sacred, I believe, probably coming up next weekend. So keep that in mind. But I mean, if you don't have Trunda and you need a good arena nuker, you really have no better options, okay? Now, Magnar, I know he's been talked about a little bit about being a better Trunda or a new Trunda, okay, kind of replacing Trunda. Magnar can hit extremely hard, but if you don't have Kymar, I feel like Magnar is gonna be a little less, to be honest. Like I feel like I would 100% use Trunda over Magnar in 99% of cases, okay? 9 times out of 10. Especially if I have Arbiter, Gorgrab, that increased attack for Trunda is going to be so good, okay? Trunda's the hardest hitting champion in the game. She's absolutely amazing. If you can get her, you're perfect, okay? And her 10x event doesn't come around that often, all right? Now, am I going to be pulling for her? Yeah, I'm going to be pulling all the shards I have, but I'm not going to go and get extra stuff. Unfortunately, I opened up a Sacred Shard yesterday because I was like, screw it. I'm not expecting anything big to come out. I got a 3rd Ray. All right, if I would have waited 2 days, I could have gotten a Trunda. Dang it. I wish I would have waited 2 days now to get the Trunda. But either way, it doesn't really matter. I do have Soulless. So for me, going for Trunda is like, okay, I'm going to have the best attack-based nuker, but I already got the best defense-based nuker, all right? So I'm not going to plan on spending any money whatsoever for this. My kids are going to eat perfectly fine. Everything's going to be good there. But I could see very strong reasoning behind somebody if your account was like full of supports like mine was in the beginning. I had a ton of support champions. I had Sify, I had Duchess, I had Lysandra, all these support champions, but no nuker to go with it, okay? So Trunda would be the way to go. Once you get her, I mean, she hits so daggone hard. Now, the other champions we have, Fushan, Nethril, both those champions are very, very good too. Now, those champions are extremely good for dungeons, all right? Dungeons, PvE type content, so good, all right? I wish I had Fushan, to be honest. Fushan on this account would be so good. Lizardman is a faction that struggles, and he makes it a lot easier, for sure. Also, he's very good on Fire Knight for those like Galleon Pact, Fire Knight event we had recently. I think we have Galleon Pact pretty often, and they kind of struggle on champions a little bit, I feel like. Skinwalkers, Orcs, Lizardmen, and Ogren. So having Fushan would actually help out a lot. A champion I would love to have. Hits hard, good force nuker, good for dungeons. Overall, very solid champion. Nethril is very similar in the fact that has great PvE utility, okay? Good stuns, good decreased turn meter, A1 with poisons. I mean, you really can't go wrong with them. So honestly, if you have Sacred Shards saved up, if you have Ancient Shards saved up, maybe you're getting close to Mercy. Maybe the 2x event screwed you over and you didn't get any legendary and you're like at 200 into your Mercy system, okay? Well, if you open 20 shards, you're going to get a guaranteed legendary. Honestly, I'd be all over that for sure, right? Because I'm going to open all these 4, definitely. I mean, I don't think I'm due for a legendary anytime soon, but I'm definitely going to pop what I have because getting a Trunda would be great. Getting Fushan would be great. Getting Nethril would be solid. All right. Now, Soulless, like I said, I use him everywhere. He is the only Void legendary in this 10x. If you don't have Soulless and you have Siphi, if you have a good, keep this in mind, if you have a good increased defense champion to go with him, he works amazing. But to be honest, if I didn't have Siphi, if I didn't have Kymar, it'd be a little bit tricky to use Soulless because the issue with Soulless is he doesn't have very much sustained damage. All right. So kind of like the issue with Ray as well. Granted, she has a strong hard-hitting A2 and a strong hard-hitting A3 ability. So you have 2 very good abilities for her, whereas Soulless has a very good A3, attacks all enemies, does more damage if they have debuffs, places a shield on him, makes him absolute tank, and places a provoke. However, after that, he has basically 4 turns of not really doing exactly what you want. This A2 ability is good, does hit hard, but if that A3 is not killing everybody, this ability can hit the wrong targets, not kill the correct people, and then you're doing the A1 for a turn or 2. And if you're going against very tanky teams like this one right here, and you don't have like a Kymar to reset and kind of keep the pressure going, then you're going to be finding yourself in a difficult situation. So if you don't have an increased defense, if you don't have a Kymar, consider before going for the Soulless pull, but consider before purchasing shards. Honestly, he's an amazing champion. It's better to have him now than later on, but just keep in mind, if you do get him, you may not use him a ton just now, but there are a ton of champions you can use with him. There's a Seeker's brother looking dude who's like a rare, what's his name? Doomscreech. Doomscreech is an increased defense champion with a speed boost. So if you plan on synergizing those champions together, perfect. But as you can see, Soulless didn't one-shot everybody there. So had I not have had Kymar in this team, he'd be going so much slower. But Trunda, she's very good, okay? She's very good. She has very good, consistent, very good pressure overall. A2, A3, very hard-hitting AoE abilities. So definitely go for her if you have some extra shards to pull. Now, Tuhawk is also a very solid champion as well. Good for CC. Also another thing that related to the Galleon Pact for the Fire Knight stuff, if I would have had Tuhawk, I definitely would have been able to do a little bit easier. I don't have him built up, unfortunately, but he's an orc with a good turn meter decrease. Good, I think AoE decrease attack maybe? No. What am I talking about? No AoE decrease attack. Decreased speed. Attacks all enemies, 75% chance of placing decreased speed. Also places a 30% increased speed buff on this champion for 2 turns. Heals this champion by 15% of the damage inflicted when they have less than 50% HP. That part's not really a big deal. This one attacks one enemy, steals 50% of the current target's turn meter, which is actually very, very good because if you're going into Fire Knight, stealing 50% of the turn meter, stealing 50% of the turn meter on Spider, very solid champion if you're a early game player, something like that. Very good champion for dungeon progression. And then you're looking at Burengiri, who's the affinity champion, right? As well as Fodbor. Fodbor, I don't know a ton about him. I do know Burengiri does seem like a very interesting champion. So he has a Provoke on the A1, 20% chance of placing it. Has some uses in the Magma Dragon. Provoke on the A1 on the Magma Dragon is so good. Attacks all enemies, 40% chance of placing stun for 1 turn, which is very good. 40% books up to 60%. So definitely solid there. And then a Strengthen plus a Shield on all allies for 2 turns, and all allies, on all allies with less than 50% HP for the shield. The shield is equal to 15% of the target's max HP. So very solid ability there, and heals this champion by 50% of their max HP whenever an ally or enemy dies. So solid champion if you're going for Trunda and you miss her, you get him instead. I definitely won't be upset with that. Definitely a champion who's probably going to be used in Faction Wars. And then Fodbor, honestly, I'm not going to go over his skills. I don't know about him enough. Haven't used him, haven't tested him out. But all these other champions are very solid. Armina, basically like a War Maiden on steroids. A little bit larger than War Maiden as well. But we look at her, no hate. Hey, decreased defense, decreased turn meter, some stuns, very solid champion. So guys, if you have some shards saved up, if you're close to Mercy, I think this 10x is pretty good, worth investing in. If you plan on saving for retirement, I don't think this 10x is good for you, all right? So it's definitely gonna be a 10x where Plarium is gonna be sitting back, counting their money, being pretty happy. But yeah, just consider that before you go in and buy all your stuff. You may end up getting a champion you don't really want, but that's the luck with 10x. I guess you have better luck now than any other time. I know for sure a lot of people are gonna be spending, so consider that when you go in. keep that in mind. Thank you all very much for watching. Good luck if you do pull Trunda. If you do go for Trunda, I hope you get her, or I hope you get whoever you're looking for. Same thing with Soulless. Hope you get him if you're going for him. Very, very solid champion. I will be opening up 0 void shards until a 10x Hegemon comes, which is hopefully sooner rather than, well, actually, I'd rather wait. I want to have a lot of void shards. I'm pretty close to Mercy, but honestly, I'd rather have a better chance of getting a few legendaries because that's the only legendary champion that I really, really want is Hegemon. So guys, thank you all very much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.